Good morning, everyone. My name is Giacomo Iubizzi from the Thailand Chamber of Commerce, and today we are happy to start the second appointment with ALLegal, Business in Thailand, What Thais Needs to Know. The speakers for today are Mr. Edoardo Artese, Managing Partner of ALLegal Law Firm, Mr. Alberto Virgilio, Honorary Consul of the Reign of Thailand in Milan, Miss Daniela Ghidelli, Associate ALLegal Law Firm, Miss Erika Conforti, Junior Associate ALLegal Firm, and then there will be also some Thai guests. Maybe Edoardo, if you can help me, I don't see Kundhinee. Kundhinee is the minister from the Royal Thai Embassy in Rome.
I'm just writing her straight away.
Okay, wonderful. Then we have already joined us Nuchanart, Sirikulpimarn, branch manager of CPF Europe, and Mr. Renato Carro and his wife, Somporn Kundhinee, owners of Birrificio Valcavallina. So we have also this new entry for this episode. And I would like to introduce you to Mr. Edoardo Artese, the managing partner of ALLegal Firm. Thank you.
Hi to everyone.
Minister arrived.
Okay, the minister.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to the guests here in Italy, and good afternoon to the guests in Thailand. Okay, I'm Edoardo Artese, as Giacomo said. I'm the managing partner of ALLegal. We are a law firm based here in Milan, working in business law and international commerce. And we are a member of the Italian Chamber of Commerce. We're trying with the Italian Chamber of Commerce to help companies to work between Italy and Thailand. Okay. Today is the second of two webinars. Okay. The first one we spoke about the rules and the right of Thai people in Italy, and for Thai people that want to come here in Italy. Today we try to explain a few basic rules to make business here in Italy for Thai company. Okay, I will start with a short introduction about the Italian company system, and after my colleague Daniela and Erika will introduce to you two typical kind of business agreement: the distribution agreement and the agency agreement. Afterwards, we have the opportunity to speak with two Thais living and making business here in Italy that will try to explain to the people connected the difference and their experience here in Italy. Okay, but first of all, I want to introduce our two special guests of today, Ms. Kundhinee Aksornwong, she's Minister of Thai Embassy in Rome, and Mr. Alberto Virgilio, Honorary Consul here in Milan. I will ask if Ms. Kundhinee Aksornwong want to say something to the other guests. Okay, I leave the floor to you. Thank you.
Yes, grazie. Thank you very much. And Buenos Aires in Thailand. Mr. Alberto Virgilio, Royal Thai Honorary Consul General in Milan, and Mr. Giacomo Iubizzi, Deputy Secretary General, Thai Italian Chamber of Commerce, all legal lawyers Milan, distinguished speaker and participant. It is my pleasure to join you all again today, and I would like to thank all parties to make this event happen. And as a representative of the Royal Thai Embassy in Rome, it is our mission to advance Thai interest and promote relations between Thailand and Italy at all levels, particularly on economic cooperation, which are great of significance for both countries, especially to achieve after the post-COVID economic recovery. For myself, I will not touch in details about doing business in Italy because Mr. Giacomo and your team is you know very well about Italian law, but let me speak in general. In terms of business relations, after the peak of the pandemic, there have been a promising number of trade from both sides. Our trade volume between Thailand and Italy last year was around $4 billion, which Italy is the Thailand 24th world trading partner and ranked third in the EU market. So far, Thai potential goods exporting to Italy are varied from animal feeds, agriculture, and rubber products, jewelry to refrigerator and automotive components. For agriculture products, food and feed products, these issues of food safety is a high priority because as Italy is the member of EU, and so the Thai exporter should mind the relevant EU law and standards. For in terms of investment, I'm pleased to know that there are more than 70 Italian companies in Thailand at the moment, which could use Thailand to reach the ASEAN market. The ASEAN market is about 650 million people. Likewise, we are also promoting overseas investment, including Italy. Key sector that we see that they have the high potential for Thai investor in Italy, among others are agri-food industry, automotive industry, electronic and consumer goods. And we are pleased to know that there are Thai companies investing in Italy, namely Central Retail Corporation, Thai Union, Minor Group, and SCG Chemical, and also CP. In the future, Thailand and EU would resume the FTA negotiation, and its conclusion would enhance mutual trade and investment flow and be beneficial to both Thailand and Italy business sector. That's also another good point. And for those who are interested in starting business in Italy, also the Department of International Trade Promotion, Ministry of Commerce of Thailand has published a guideline for setting up business and investment in Italy, which I found that is quite useful and can accessible online by the Department of International Trade Promotion website on www.ditp.go.th. I would also like to share that Embassy has its economic section, which is reachable at email info@mthai, which is ambthai.it. Our Thai Trade Center in Milan are also ready to provide information and recommendation for Thais who are interested in doing business in Italy. Without further ado, I wish the success of this webinar, and I am confident that it will be beneficial for all the participants. Grazie mille. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You want to say something?
Hello to everybody. I think no, not that
You
much.
don't want.
No, not that much. Basically, you know, making business in Italy is pretty interesting. I would say, talking to the Thai listeners, that as much as Thailand is can be considered a hub for the ASEAN market, the same is for Italy. Italy can easily be a hub for all the Southern and Central Europe market, which is pretty huge. There's a lot of interest in so many clusters of activities that could be feasible, setting up a company, a trading company or whatever in Italy. So there's a lot of chances. Of course, nowadays, talking about making business in Europe, considering the sound of guns and cannons and winds of war blowing sounds a bit, hot. But I pretty believe that everything will solve soon, and we get back to usual. So don't forget Italy. Consider Italy. My big fault and mistake on one side and not so much on the other is that I forgot to involve in this webinar the Thai trade office in Milan, because could have provided a lot of information, a lot of history cases about Thai companies settling down in Italy and vice versa. But this is let's say, the bad thing I've done. On the other hand, I have a suggestion. So there's no Thai trade office, true. But in times, in years, I've seen the main difference, I would say, between Italian entrepreneurs and Thai entrepreneurs is that Italian entrepreneurs nowadays, since a long time, they pick up the briefcase, take a flight, and go and make business all over the world. On the other hand, I'm afraid that Thai entrepreneurs, they rely a little bit too much on governmental support. Sometimes it's good if you just pick up your luggage, take a flight, fly to Italy in this case, and start meeting people and making business. That speeds up the thing and fasten everything. That's just my suggestion based on the impression of the things I've seen in the last year. That's all. So I'll leave space to other speakers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now it's just my turn. Okay, I will be very, very, very fast, because ours, the legal part, usually is a little bit boring. Okay, so we'll be very fast. Okay, I will start to introduce to you the corporate system in Italy. Okay, the corporate system in Italy is not so different from Thailand. Okay. This due the fact that the Kingdom of Thailand, okay, we know it's a very proud, independent country, but at the same time is very welcoming and open to business with other countries, especially from foreign country. And so the company system in Thailand is very inspired from the UK legal system. Okay, not the Italian legal system, but the UK legal system. So it's not so far from the Italian legal system. I have to say, the name of the company in Thailand, I will translate it, but sometimes it's not correct, okay, because the legal language in Thailand is obviously Thai, okay? So when you speak in English using Thai word, okay, is just a way to try to explain, but sometimes not the correct word, okay? So, okay, I think there is, for a Thai company or a Thai person who want to open a company or making business with Italy, there will be three choices. Okay, the first one is a choice is usually used only for tax purpose and just in a specific business field, and this is the tax representation. Okay, it's the easiest way to working with Italy. Okay, usually is used by company making import and export. Okay. By using this tax representation, there is a business established outside when a company, in this case a Thai company, make business in an established way outside the Europe, okay, so from Thailand, and want to make goods, okay, just goods in Europe, we are able to create this subsidiary, okay, and this is called tax representation. This means there is not need of a physical site, an office, okay, but just a physical person, okay, this is the real difference, okay. It's not so easy to explain because it's just a tax kind of company, okay, it's not real company, okay, just a person that make the representation in Italy, okay, and usually I say for the foreigners working in business, okay. It's not okay for a company working in a stadium, in usual way with Italy, but just for company working not so often with Italy, okay? So it's called tax representation, okay? Just for company make import and export of goods to Italy. Another case, very usually in a lot of time, okay, is to open a branch. Okay, branch is probably the best option when a company want to work in a durably way with Italy. Okay, indeed, for the tax purpose, in Italy the taxes is very, very important to understand when you want to make the business. Okay, because as you know, the taxes are very high in Italy, and the Agenzia delle Entrate usually try to come everywhere. Okay, so when you speak to a company or business in Italy, it probably is the first thing to consider is the taxes. Okay, so a branch for the taxes purpose are considered as a permanent established, and so it's subject to taxation here in Italy. Okay, what is a branch? A branch, first of all, is not a separate legal entity of the company. Okay, you have a company in Italy and you open a branch here, a company in Thailand, and you open a branch here in Italy. Okay, this let your Thai company to make business in, as I say, in a permanent way here with Italy. You have to make a registration of the branch in the Italian register of the companies. Okay, the Chamber of Commerce has a special register for the branch, and like the tax representation, you need to appoint a person. Okay, and this name will show in the register of the companies, will be the representative of the branch. Okay. Usually in this case, is different like the representation. You need an office, okay, or better, you need an address here in Italy, okay. Like in Thailand, here in Italy, sometimes you don't need a real office, but just like us, a legal office or an accountant, okay, where you make you put your address, okay. And so you need an address or an office, and you obtain a VTA number here in Italy. So you pay the taxes of the business of the branch here in Italy, okay? So usually branch is used in country where there is a company working very often with Italy, and the company has an interest to have someone making a proper representation of the country here in Italy, okay? It's just not sending goods, if you want, there is someone, okay, can speak here in Italy for your company, okay? And in a lot of cases, Asian or Thai company just open a branch in Europe, okay? And use this branch to represent a company in all the Europe, okay? Not just in Italy. You open in France and making business also with the other country if inside the European Union. So a lot of time in some way is the best way if you make a lot of business with Italy, okay, to make a representative, someone that speak with your company. This is the last cases, is the cases with when a Thai company make a lot of business with Italy, and sometimes they need to set up a company here in Italy, okay? As I said, the Italian system is not so different, okay? The first thing you have to know is possible for a Thai person or a Thai company to open a company in Italy, okay? The company or the person doesn't need, okay, an Italian shareholder, okay? This because under the international law is possible for a foreigner set up a company here in Italy with not shareholder if it's possible in the person country of origin. In Thailand, it's possible to open a company just with foreigner shareholders, okay? The problem, this kind of company in Thailand need at last 3 million baht of capital. So usually just the big company, okay, usually are multinational corporation, okay, that come to Thailand and prefer to work without a Thai, okay? But for the law, it's possible, okay? So at the same time, it's possible for a Thai company or people come here in Italy and open a company without an Italian. Okay, I think it's important because a lot of times speaking with Thai people, they think here in Italy there is the same problem, okay, to open a company in Thailand, because we know in Thailand, if you are not a big corporation, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to start a company, okay? Usually the best choice is the type of company, the limited one with 2 million baht of capital, usually the 51% of the shareholder Thai, okay? Usually this is the best choice, okay? But for the big corporation, they have not problem with the capital. Usually they use the other one, 3 million cap, okay? So in Italy, very similar to Thailand, we can classify the enterprise in sole proprietorship, okay? It's called impresa individuale, the very small company, usually one person, okay? Partnership, I told you, I try to translate in Thailand, but sometimes not really correct. Partnership is società di persone, okay? There are società in nome collettivo and società in accomandita semplice. There are two kinds of company of person, okay? And the last one, usually the best choice for the international business, they are corporation. We have two kinds of corporation. SRL, Società Responsabilità Limitata, is very similar to the limited, and SPA, Società per Azioni. Okay, Società per Azioni is usually a big corporation, okay? The SRL usually is the best choice to start a business, okay? Sometimes the international corporation have here in Italy an SRL, okay? It's incredible, sometimes a very, very big company, but they prefer to have an SRL, Società Responsabilità Limitata, and not an SPA, Società per Azioni, because the SRL, it's easier to manage, the administration is very easier compared to the SPA. The minimum share capital is €1, okay? In the past was 10,000 euro, now is €1, okay? The suggestion is not to open a company with €1, because if you, when you go to the bank and I want to open a bank account, they say, okay, take your euro and go away. So usually I suggest to open the normal company with 10,000 euro. Like in Thailand, you can at least pay, when you set up the company, the 25% of the capital. So just 2,500 euro, okay? Why you have to choose this kind of company? Because in Italy we say is a complete patrimonial autonomy. So really simplifying, okay, because it's a little bit more complicated, but just to simplify today, if the company goes south, okay, there is a lot of problem, the creditors of the company can just ask the money to the company and not to the shareholder. So if the shareholder has an apartment, an house, have money in the bank, okay, for the creditor of the company, it's impossible to ask this money. Okay, it's possible just in few cases, but usually it's impossible. Okay, so it's the best way to start a company, because the risk is just the risk of the money you put in the company, okay, and not over your life. Let's say the other kind of corporation is SPA, Società per Azioni, usually is very big. The minimum share capital is 100,000 euro, okay? Also in this case, you can just paid the 55%. And also in this case can be just one shareholder, okay. The problem is why usually a company just don't use SPA, because the SPA is very difficult to manage. You need, it's called sindaci, okay. You need a lot of bureaucracy. This is the reason just the big company use this kind of corporation. So usually the SRL or the limited in English is the best choice. So to open a company is, I think it's easy, okay, or just for Italian is easy. So you need here a notary, okay. There is not notary in Thailand, okay. It's just Italian figure, is a representative of the government and making some particular kind of act. So you have to go to the notary, okay, and make this act, okay, is an agreement between the shareholder and set up a company. The notary will make a registration to the Chamber of Commerce of the company, and after you open and obtain the VTA number, okay, you need a representative of the branch of the company, so a person, okay, one or more person, okay, that represent the company in front of the other person. And in this case, like in the branch, you need an address. As I say, like in Thailand, you don't need an office, but just an address. So a virtual office or a virtual address is usually the best choice when you want to start a company from another country, okay? And so probably with the company working a lot with Italy, want to expand the Thai business in Italy, the NewCo, to start up a new company, limited, is the best choice for a company with interest significant in Italy, okay? Is expensive compared to a branch, or very, very expensive compared to just a tax representation. But if you want to really make a business with Italy, probably is the best choice, okay? So this is, in very short way, okay, the introduction to the corporate system here in Italy. Usually, foreign company, Thai company, when you want to start to work with Italy, just choose to start a cooperation, okay, with an Italian company. The past way of cooperation, but usually was used during the 80s, was a joint venture, okay? Now it's really difficult to find a joint venture. So usually they use two kinds of agreement, the distribution agreement or the agent agreement, okay, to start to work with Italy. So we will try to explain the basic characteristic of this kind of agreement. So this is Daniela, okay, my colleague that want to introduce to you all the rule about the distribution agreement. Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Since today we are talking about ways of doing business from Thailand with Italy here in Italy, I would like to talk to you about some forms of international contractual collaboration that could be very useful to you. In particular, today we will talk about the distribution agreement and later about the agency agreement, which are both contracts widely used for organizing sales from abroad and abroad in general. These contracts, in fact, can represent an alternative to the establishment in Italy of a company or even a sole professionist, and allow economic operators to exploit brands and other remarkable distinctive signs for the creation of business opportunities while maintaining their business a kind of independent. The fact of appointing an agent or a distributor at a local level makes indeed the market more confident. Also because the end customer feels more safer if he has or if he or she has someone closer to him, especially from the point of view of the regulatory and also on the from the point of view of the language barriers. Before talking about these contracts at an international level, however, it must be said that here in Italy, we have the concept of tipicità, the typical nature of the contract, which means that a contractual scheme is expressly provided by our legal system, which discipline is therefore contained in the Italian Civil Code or in another special law. If on the one hand, here in Italy, the agency agreement, Erika will talk about it later, is a typical contract provided for in Article 1742 of the Italian Civil Code, the distribution agreement doesn't have a specific regulatory framework, and it is a jurisprudential figure, which in any case follows the general rules concerning contracts and obligations. Having that said, what I would like to analyze with you today is the international distribution and agency agreement. These contractual forms are indeed governed by the private international law, except where the parties expressly choose another applicable law. And they are very useful in order to set up a contractual relationship between different countries. The distribution agreement, as per the definition, the distribution agreement is a contract by which a person or a company undertakes the obligation to distribute without interruption on a specific market the products supplied by the producer in exchange for earning opportunities. In fact, the distribution mainly includes the fact that the distributor obligation is the one to promote the sale of the supplier's products. The fact that the distributor acts in its own name and on its own behalf. Before we have said that the distributor can remain independent from the producer. An earning opportunity for the distributor and the possibility of also using the supplier's distinctive signs. In other words, the distributor shall use its best efforts to promote the sale of the products on the assigned territory. A distribution agreement becomes international when there is an agreement between two or more subjects from belonging to different countries. As for example, a Thai and an Italian who wants to distribute his products in Italy or in Thailand, and especially a Thai who wants to distribute here in Italy. For example, food products. We have many clauses in the distribution agreement, which mainly are the exclusivity. Exclusivity is a clause such that one party, the other, or even both are required to entertain a business relation only with the other party in a specific limited certain area. Another typical clause is, of course, the definition of the duties of the distributor and of the producer. The definition of the minimum sales target, which is often used under penalty of loss of the exclusive right, as we said before. The discipline of the intellectual property is another important clause, because we have said that the distributor generally uses the distinctive signs of the producer. The regulation of orders, for example, the Incoterms or the warehouse of the company, the guarantees, especially for certain types of products, any fiscal and administrative obligation, cooperation in advertising and promotional strategies. Parties usually cooperate to define trade and promotional policies, market research, actions, and any kind of external support to sale. And another important clause, of course, are the effects of the termination of the agreement. For example, as far as the trademarks or the warehouse are concerned. Last but not least, the severance indemnity, which is expressly provided for in the agency agreement, as Erika will say, but also applied to distribution. Pay attention that the international contract is essential to regulate, in the international contract is essential to regulate which law is applicable. For example, even in Thailand, the distribution agreement is an atypical contract. And if the parties don't expressly regulate the applicable law, the Rome Convention, which is private international law, states that the law of the country of the distributor is applicable, as well as the competent court is the one of residence or headquarter of the distributor. So this is the end of my part concerning the distribution agreement. Now Erika will talk with you about the agency agreement, which is another contractual form in order to set up a relationship with Italians.
Thank you. Good evening and good afternoon to everyone. So after the distribution agreement, on the other hand, we have the agency agreement, which is a contract by which an economic operator, called the agent, permanently assumes the task to introducing and develop a business or client basis for another economic entity called the principal, and does this against the payment of a commission. The appointment of a commercial agent must be a duly registered person with the Chamber of Commerce. And this is a very important aspect to bear in mind. Today, agency together with distribution are widely used agreements to sell products abroad, especially where the principal cannot arrive directly because he doesn't know the market, he doesn't know where to find the possible clients interested in the product he sells or produces. The aim of the agency agreement is to so develop the principal market area, retaining end customers and remunerating the agent for the various tasks he performs for the principal. The main clauses which we can find in the distribution agreement are widely used also for the agency one, whereas, as Daniela said previously, there's this severance indemnity, which is crucial for agency agreements, which has to be paid at the end of the contractual relationship for the increasing business the agent has brought to the principal. Also, another specific clause, which is also very important, is the non-competition clause, which prohibits the agent from working with competitors of the principal for a certain period of time. So we have also to insert in those agreements eventual obligations for the principal. So let's say paying some extra fees to the agent in order to preventing him from working with others after the end of the agreement. Another thing to bear in mind is that when a natural person is appointed as agent in Italy, the Italian law provides for the so-called right to indemnity. And this, according to Article 51 of the Civil Code, Upon termination of the agency agreement, the agent is entitled to receive from the principal this indemnity. Usually the principal has to set aside this money year by year by relevant sums to be determined on the percentage of the compensation we received during the agreement's duration by the agent. The logic of this type of indemnity is to compensate the agent for the contribution he has made to the development of the client base of the principal. And so these are the main features, if you want to call them like that, of this contract.
Okay. Thank you, Erika. Thank you so much. But I think we speak about food and alcohol in particular. I think our guest now are very expert about this kind of product. Okay. I don't know, Giacomo, if you want to introduce our guest today.
Okay, yes, I'm very pleased to introduce Nuchanart, Sirikulpimarn from CPF.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone here. Yeah, my name is Nuchanart, Sirikulpimarn, representative of a CPF company from Thailand, and it's my pleasure really to has been invited to join this conference. Yeah, thank you. And all the information that I just heard is very interesting. But even for me, that already passed this kind of step for years already, because we has been established like our company here in Italy. We came here first in 2003. So maybe now the law and many things already adapt and more close between Italy and Thailand already.
Okay, no problem. This is very interesting. So you were mentioning the office of CPF has been open since 2003. And would you like to explain a bit also what is CPF and what are you doing in Italy? Why it's been chosen Italy to open a repo office or a branch office?
Okay, so well, at that moment, actually, our company CPF already export worldwide, especially also in Europe already. But most of all is between the country of the northern part of Europe, not really at the south as Italy or Greece or Portugal. So we see that there's also the market or maybe some potential market that we could find there. So we decided to come here first and then to study, to understand everything from zero, from nothing. Let's say that at that time we didn't have any customer, any market between our company and Italian market yet. So come here to come here, we firstly contact the lawyer and also Thai Trade Center in Milan give help a lot to give many suggestions about Italy at that time. But at the end we decide that it would be much more easier and also faster to decide to register as a how to say at that time, representanza. Okay.
Yeah,
not really like the company exactly that we can do the transaction at the time, just only to understand the business, whether we can then go on. And then we decide also to not register the company as the representative between Italy and Thailand, because at that time the law, as I remember, is still very complicated to do this kind of registration between Thailand and Italy, because there's no link between the law. So our lawyer suggests us it's much more easier and faster to register using our office in Belgium, because we also have several offices in northern of Europe, especially for Belgium, that it was our first company established in Europe. So we register our office in Italy as a representative of Belgium office. Okay.
Okay, this is clear.
Yes, as I said, a lot of time open just a company in Europe. It's easier to open other branch inside of Europe. Okay.
Yes.
The next time we open the principal company will be in Italy in the branch in Europe.
Yeah, I believe that now also the law may be changed a lot because
Yes,
I
yes.
understand Italy always
Earlier-
change many things law year by year also.
Yes, now is a little bit easier for a lot of things. Okay, all right.
Wonderful. And okay, con Nuchanart, maybe for those who don't know, CPF is a very, I would say, the biggest conglomerate in Thailand. It is well known for the production of different things from chicken, pork, so in terms of meat production, eggs, as well as also produce like vegetables and fruits. But maybe, Nuchanart, would you like to remind us what is CPF doing in Europe? Are you selling to European market? Are you purchasing products to import back to Thailand? Just to have a bit more of information from your side, and then we pass to
Okay.
the host.
Okay. The objective at that time that we came here, we would like to penetrate for export the chicken because our CPF company, we are the biggest producer of chicken company from Thailand. So, but came here, we understand that also Italy is one of the most important producer of Europe as well for the chicken. And there's also other issue regarding the quota of to import many things, and plus we found about the avian influenza at that time in 2004, if I'm not wrong. So we also try to focus whether is there any other kind of products that our company can penetrate into this market. So we start with our Thai Honorary rice. Okay, because at that time we found that there's still a gap in the market that we cannot have like yet in the market the premium quality of Thai, I mean the authentic Thai homemade rice in Italian market, and I would like to introduce this kind of product to all the consumer to understand how is the real Thai premium homemade rice from Thailand. So we start to branding our brand Royal Umbrella, and now we can say that Italy is the most biggest market and the most well-known awareness of our brand Royal Umbrella from Thailand to Europe. Approximately, we are doing about 4,000 tons per year. Yeah, for this kind of Thai rice.
Okay, this is impressive, and thank you very much for your participation today as a speaker. We really enjoy this information. And okay, I received one question from Mr. Lucio Sbriziolo that asked, what about the sauces? So I think that is referring to, I don't know, maybe sriracha sauce, soy sauce, if anything is produced under CP brand or CPF.
We don't have the sauce. Actually, we are not the producer of the sauce yet, but recent years, due to we are the producer of also ready to eat. So sauce is one of the best of ingredients, sub-ingredient that to produce this kind of product of ready to eat. So we also see this opportunity. Actually now I'm in the Netherlands, and I'm with also my colleague from Belgium that our office in Belgium is doing this kind of sauce, but not yet in Italy, because actually I just finished also the meeting is that beyond all the complication between about the law, and for me the most difficult thing for Italy market is the market themselves, because as you know the Italian food is one of the wonderful food of the world. So to introduce Thai food, to let Italian understand how is the Thai food and to taste is much more easier, and the market is still quite very conservative comparing with other country in northern of Europe. So I'm also waiting that there may be also the investor who are interested ready to open of Thai restaurant chains. As I found here that in Netherlands, there's like 25 Thai restaurant chain that is doing very the great job. So this will be also like other channel that we CPF can also distribute our food into the market. But in Italy, they're still very, very conservative for this kind of product. Yeah.
Right, this is understandable, and I guess we will have a very animated Q&A later. So please remain with us. In the meanwhile, while we're still talking about food, I would like to introduce the other guest from Valcavallina, Mr. Renato Carro and his spouse Consol. Mr. Renato, would you like to tell us a bit about your brewery, how your idea started, and maybe, I don't know, Edoardo, if you would like to mention something else to help to introduce them better.
First thing I have to say, I really love the beer of Valcavallina, okay? Because before I met them, I know the beer. I always love. So when my wife say, I know Consol from Valcavallina, I say, okay, for me it's perfect. I need one beer. So it's very, very good craft beer. Okay, I think one of the best in Italy. Okay, and I suggest to everyone to try this beer. Okay.
What a big endorsement.
Yes. No, because it's true. Okay. It was from Heineken. I will say, don't try this beer. Okay. So.
Okay.
So please, Renato, don't be afraid to speak in English. Okay. Or
okay.
if you
Good morning. And
want to speak in Thai, I think we like also to listen someone speaking in Thai. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We opened our brewery, craft brewery, 13 years ago in 2009, and in Bergamo province, because we like craft beer, small production of beer, and we have a production of about 90,000 liters per year. We produce 8 kind of beer, different beer, and we are regional brewing, local brewing, because we are not so big, but we are happy to have a small production because we can brew beer with character, special kind of beer. And our beer is not filtered or pasteurized, so it's a natural product.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And we know that Consol is Thai, so would you like to share a bit of information regarding your experience about living in Italy and being also a businesswoman in this case with your husband, Mr. Renato?
Okay, my wife doesn't talk well English, so she could talk Thai if it's not a problem.
Sure, please go ahead.
Okay, experience.
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะก็มาอยู่อิตาลีก็20 กว่าปีนะคะแล้วก็แฟนเขาก็ชอบดื่มเบียร์นะคะชอบดื่มเบียร์แล้วก็เขาก็ทำเบียร์เล่นๆที่บ้านนะคะทำเล่นๆที่บ้านแล้วก็ทีนี้ก็ทำไปทำมาแล้วก็เพื่อนก็ชอบอย่างนั้นอย่างนี้เขาก็พยายามหาประสบการณ์เรื่อยๆอ่านหนังสือแล้วก็หาประสบการณ์จนคิดว่าแน่ใจแล้วว่าอยากจะเปิดโรงงานเบียร์จริงๆแล้วตระกูลของแฟนนะคะคือเขามีโรงงานกระจกนะคะพ่อมีโรงงานกระจกและทีนี้ลูกชายน่ะเขาไม่ชอบโรงงานกระจกบล็อกนะคะกระจกบล็อกนะคะสีเป็นสีขาวสีฟ้าอย่างนี้แล้วพ่อไม่ชอบแฟนไม่ชอบก็เลยมาเปิดโรงงานเล็กๆอยู่กับครอบครัวนะคะแล้วก็พอดีตั้งใจที่จะเปิด จริงๆแล้วก็หาสถานที่ตรงไหนที่ชอบประมาณนี้นะคะแล้วก็พอดีมาเจอที่จังหวัดเบร์กาโมในเมืองเบร์กาโมแล้วก็มาอยู่ติดแม่น้ำก็มาซื้อโรงงานที่นี่นะคะซื้อโรงงานที่นี่แล้วก็ลงเครื่องผลิตเบียร์นะคะลงเครื่องผลิตเบียร์แล้วก็ยื่นเอกสารกับอำเภอแล้วก็ติดต่อเกี่ยวกับทำเอกสารนะคะแล้วก็ตกลงก็ได้เปิดเบียร์ก็ทำงานกับครอบครัวนะคะก็มีความสุขนะคะอยู่อิตาลีมันก็อากาศดีคือกฎหมายอิตาลีมันก็พูดถึงก็ทำอะไรก็ทำถูกต้องตามกฎหมายประมาณนี้นะคะมันก็ง่ายอยู่นะคะเปิดที่นี่เพราะว่าโรงงานเบียร์เล็กๆไทยก็คงจะเปิดไม่ได้เพราะของเล็กนะคะไทยก็คงจะชอบแบบโรงงานใหญ่ๆอะไรประมาณนี้นะคะ
So I heard that Conforti has been living in Italy from 26 years. Is it correct? We'll say easy Pope.
22. Yeah.
22. Okay, so it's been so wonderful. So she's been living in Italy for 22 years, and she has this passion for beers that brought her to work. Also, I heard with the kitchen, so in the food industry, and then she really enjoyed her experience. This is how things develop. So very good. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. So maybe we will put the subtitles or try to write a very brief description of what were you saying in Thai for the people that will watch this webinar online. Edoardo, I don't know, would you like to start now the Q&A or would you like to?
Yes. So.
Okay, wonderful. So now we can start the Q&A. If anyone has question, can open the microphone or send a message on the group chat. We will read it and answer to you. We have one question before from Mr. Gelando that I remember was asking me, but maybe this question is more for the Consol. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Mr. Alberto, there is one question regarding what Thai people must know if they want to move and live in Italy. So I guess it's about some documentation or visa. What is the step to follow for relocation, living in Italy?
I'm afraid that unfortunately the gentleman who asked the question did enjoy the last webinar where we've been talking extensively about that. But I'm pleased to provide a very simple answer. Basically, they have to access the Italian embassy in Bangkok and ask for a visa. The thing is a bit complicated. I mean, if you want to come to Italy and you want to settle down with a company or whatsoever, you cannot enter with a tourist visa because you cannot change. We cannot change the purpose. So you should start from the beginning, asking for a business visa, and that's a pretty Italian question, let's say. But basically, once you get the visa and you're in Italy, the first thing you have to do is to get the fiscal code. Fiscal code is needed for anything you would do in Italy. I mean, without fiscal code, you can do anything, not access the health system, not do anything. Then of course, apart from settling down and starting a business or whatsoever, which is not, I think that my colleague have been talking extensively about that just before. But basically, once you have the fiscal code and the permit to stay, the request for the permit to stay is a bit complicated, but not that much. I mean, let's talk about the business purpose. Once you're in Italy for business, you should ask for the proper permit to stay. It takes time, but I would say, since you're a businessman, the best thing would be contact a lawyer or whatever who can help you through the steps. But you can do it also on your own. I mean, it's pretty easy to get all the documents and send them by post. If the documentation is correct, you get back from government through Questura, which is police main office. Let's say from couple of weeks to, let's say, little more, and you get your permit to stay. The length of this permit to stay is different, but we would open a lot of case history that I think it's pointless to mention. But basically, permit to stay together with, after you enter Italy with a visa, permit to stay together with fiscal code. Once you have a fiscal code and a permit to stay, you can do anything just like in Italian. That's it. Not that difficult. I mean, once you get it, the difficult thing is having the proper visa. Once you have the proper visa, once you're in Italy, there's no problem at all. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Consol. We are very happy to hear also this useful information for our audience. Any other question? I just sent a message on the group chat with our contacts. There is also the contact of ALLegal Law Firm and the link to our YouTube channel in case you want to watch again the webinar of last time, where we are talking extensively about how to go to Italy and regarding all the information about the documents.
Oh, really? Sorry, I forgot to say that. Thank you very much, because honestly, I've been reviewing the last webinar, and honestly, we had extensively been exploiting all the information. So I think checking the webinar is like attending a lesson on how to enter and stay in Italy. That's good, you know?
Thank you very much. And okay, always from Gerlando, I have another question, but I think Gerlando, I will call later, okay? Because it's still regarding the visa, how to go to Italy. Thank you very much, Gerlando. Let me see if we have other questions. I see also some new faces like Mr. Giorgio, Mr. Alfonso, Alice, and Serena and Lucio. We are happy to see new people. Okay, there is one question from Kunjanna. She asked, okay, she asked if she will be working in Italy, if she has to pay taxes to Italian government, and if she has the benefits as the health insurance. I think is the Italian welfare with the free hospitalization and medical visits. Edoardo, would you like to answer this question? You can find it in the group chat.
Okay. As Italia, we're working in Italy. I pay taxes to Italian government. Do I have benefits and as health insurance? Thank you. Okay. Also, in this case, we spoke a lot in the last webinar. Okay, in Italy, you don't need an health insurance like in Thai, you know, because we have free health care, okay? So if you are residents here, you pay taxes here, you go to the hospital, you have your doctor, so there is not a benefit, okay? Because in our system, everything is free, okay? So it's different from Thailand. Usually they have health insurance when you start to work, okay, one of the first thing. Here in Italy, okay, just if you live in Italy, everything is free, okay? There's not other kind of benefits, it's difficult to speak, it depends of the kind of work, the kind of business, okay? Sometimes there is some opportunities, you know, there is like, in Thailand there is BOI, okay, for some promotion, also is in Italy, every kind of business or every kind of visa is different, okay? I don't know if I explain because it's very big question, okay? So.
Perfetto.
Sorry, may I put up a little highlight about Italian health system? One thing, be sure about the health system, because even if you are, let me say, illegally in Italy, you benefit of the health system. Health system is free for everyone who's in Italy. So you don't need to have a job, you don't need to register or whatever. Once you need a doctor, once you need hospitalization or whatever, you can join the Italian health system. This is the highlight of our welfare state. I mean, health system is free for each and everyone who's in Italy in that specific moment. This is good.
Okay, yeah, this is a very important information. Thank you very much, Consol Alberto Virgilio, for stressing out those very important notions. Okay. I don't know, I would wrap it up so that we already passed the 1 hour duration for the webinar. I really would like to thank again the Minister Kundhinee for giving a very important information and data about the commercial exchange between Italy and Thailand. And of course, also Consul Alberto Virgilio, that we really appreciate your time with us for always answering the questions from our audience, as well as Mr. Edoardo with all his team. ALLegal is a very fantastic reality, and we're very proud to have built this bridge that connects Bangkok to Milan, and I hope there will be more events and activities so that we can actually, I would say, endorse and help companies to reach each other country. And of course, for the guest of today, Nuchanart, that we really would like to meet you also here in Thailand. I don't know if you will join TICC, let us know. But for sure, we will send someone for Tutto Food Milan, which is a very important fair regarding food. Nuchanart, will you go there?
Actually, for TICC, I'm planning the trip to visit together with my customer there. So maybe if I have a confirmation, I will let you know for sure.
Okay, wonderful. We usually send also some exhibitors to Tutto Food, as well as some buyers. Tutto Food in Milan. I don't know if you have a stand, maybe.
We don't have, but we have our distributor who will represent our product there. Yeah.
Wonderful. And in conclusion, also to Mr. Renato and his wife Consol for giving us a bit of information regarding this very small but great brewery, also according to Edoardo from Bergamo. And we really would like to taste some of your beers also here in Bangkok. Who knows, maybe someone that is listening to us is an importer or distributor will contact you. So I don't know, we wish you so. Edoardo, I leave to you the final words. I don't know, you want to wrap it up? You can take.
Yeah, thank you so much to Daniela, Erika, our guest. Thank you so much. And all the people today listening to our webinar. We try to explain in a very short way how to make business in Italy, or to make business between Thailand and Italy. Okay, so thank you so much. Hope to see you soon. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ